All right, everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. Tonight I'm going to be talking to you about backpacking. Funny story, the first time I went backpacking was about 8 or 9 years ago. And I was the only one with a backpack. All my buddies decided we were just going to go. We decided to do a 10-mile hike, which is not very far, but we wanted to get the experience of hiking and then sleeping and then hiking again. So, well, since I was the one with a backpack, that meant I carried all the gear. And we didn't have any of the right stuff we should have had. We had like a regular camp stove, a cast iron pot, a full-size tent. So by the end of it, my pack probably weighed about 45 to 50 pounds, which is quite a bit of weight to hike through the woods with. So anyways, now I have much better gear and I'm going to go over with you tonight. This right here is the Arc'teryx Explorer 80. According to the website, it holds about 4,400 to 4,900 cubic inches. When you break that down, it's about 3 cubic feet. It's quite a bit of space in there. It's also moisture resistant. It's got a lot of different compartments. It's got a compartment down here, an external compartment out here. It's got a little fanny pack you can take off and use for a top. And it's also got the zipper on the side so you can get right in the middle of the bag without having to unload everything. It's really kind of nice. It's also got a lot of straps so you can attach things to the outside of the bag. It makes it a lot easier. The next thing you're going to want is a good quality stove. This right here is the MSR Whisper Light. According to the manufacturer, it'll boil a liter of water in 3.9 minutes. Just to break that down, it's about the average length of a song you'll hear on the radio. With a fuel tank about this size, it'll burn for 4 hours. It also comes with a couple of heat reflectors. These right here, what they do is you put them up around the stove, and it'll let you keep the heat right there and the wind won't blow out your stove and stuff like that. It's really helpful. The next thing I want to talk about after you got food is going to come water. I use two types of water carriers. I use a Nalgene and I use a Camelback. The Camelback, what I'll do with it, I'll strap it to the side of the bag and then just run the hose straight to my shoulder. So that way when I'm walking, I got a hose of water right there for liquid hydration. The Nalgene I use for my cooking water. I like it because they're pretty much indestructible and they have the markings on the side of how much water is in there. It's really good when you're using dried food. You just pour it right in, and that way you know how much water you use to cook. After you got food and water taken care of, next thing you need to worry about is your shelter. This right here is a Wenzel Starlight tent. According to the manufacturer, it's about 3.5 pounds. When you open it up, it's 7 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet. It's actually enough room for 2 guys and their gear. Perfectly fine, nice and light. It's good. You want to make sure you have good shelter because not only because the weather can change on you, but also the dew. Nothing is worse than waking up and all your gear is soaking wet just because of the dew. A wet bag was a lot more than a dry bag. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is a sleeping bag. This right here is the Army issued three-piece modular sleeping system. Like I said, it's got 3 pieces. This first piece is the external layer. It's got a rough skin, nice and good. If you put it right down on sticks or rocks, it won't tear it up, won't hurt it at all. The next layer is actually the outer layer of the 2 bags. This is your warm weather layer. If you use it by itself, it's good for temperatures. Anything above 30 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll still be nice and toasty in here. If you put that bag around this next bag, it's actually good for up to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a pretty quality bag, and I got it for free, so I like it. The best part about this bag is the sack it comes in. This is what's called a compression sack. With all those bags in there, and you saw how big it was, if you compress it down, it's just about this size. It's completely nice, fits right in the bag. Nice and easy to move with. The last thing you want to worry about when you're going backpacking is the proper attire. You always want to wear long sleeves and full-length pants just for bug bites, poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac. You want to have less exposure to the elements as possible. Me and my friends like to go in the cold time because we sweat a lot, so we have a lot of cold weather gear. First thing I want to show you are these gloves. I love these gloves because they're a two-part glove system. They have inserts and then the external shells. The inserts are great because they keep your hands warm and you still have full mobility in your hands and can do things with them. These will keep your hands extremely warm and they'll protect you against like sticks, thorns, branches, anything like that. Another thing I like to use, we also recommend you dress in layers. This is a typical base layer. You want something that's going to wick the moisture away from your body, pull the sweat off. That way when you stop moving, you're not sitting there in a pile of your own sweat, getting cold and freezing. And the last thing I have is this nice, sweet snowboarding jacket that I use when I go backpacking. It's got a lot of sweet pockets. It's got actually a mat pocket built into it right here, so you just keep your mat right on your wrist. It's also moisture resistant on the outside, nice and warm on the inside. So as you can see, I'm a lot better prepared now to go backpacking. And I recommend if you are going to go backpacking, you have at least this much gear. Like I said, you're going to need a backpack, a stove, a tent, proper attire, and a good sleeping bag. Thanks you guys for coming out, and I appreciate it.